Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to 1111 Media Creator Academy. My name is Bree Bolton, and today it's just me, which which is just fine. My co-host Ben Richardson, he is in Ireland doing the Irish Publishing Show Writing Conference. So he's speaking there and presenting and talking about our courses. So we're really excited about that, and that makes me on my own today, which is perfectly fine. So today, for today's stream, we're going to be going back to NanoBanana 2. Now, uh, I feel like it did too good last time. I don't know how anybody else feels. I do expect top tier performance out of NanoBanana. It is the top, so I made 5 more prompts to kind of put it through some stress tests and kind of push it to the limits. I don't know what kind of kid you were, if you were the kind of kid that liked to push the limits, but you can see what kind of kid I was just by what we're doing today. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go right back over to NanoBanana 2, and hopefully we can break it a little bit because because I think that's probably beneficial in a couple of ways. I want to see what it's good at, what it's not good at, where you guys should lean, like first time users, or if you're experts, if this is even worth your time, things like that. And I think this is going to be a good thing to do. Okay, so share screen. You guys know I'm not the best at this, so let me just this window at the stage. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen kind of like this since it's just me today. I think that's the best way to do it. All right, so we are back in Gemini, and I'm going to go over the tools again just in case you guys weren't here last time. I have the plus version, and right over here is how you switch the versions of Gemini so fast. Defaults to NanoBanana 2 now, and then thinking kind of puts you wherever it needs for whatever kind of problem you are. NanoBanana Pro is Pro, and then you can update right here. And then we also have some more tools over here, which is create image, canvas, deep research, create video, create music. Create music is new, which I want to get into that one day. I don't think we're going to do that today, but I do want to get into that today. And then they have the guided learning so they can help. All right, let's go ahead and pull up these notes. So the first one I'm going to paste in here, but I also want to read it out. A cinematic wide shot of a lone astronaut standing on the edge of a shattered moon colony. Massive broken domes scattered across the surface. Earth rising in the distance. Neon emergency lights flicker inside cracked glass structures. A storm of glowing debris drifts through low gravity. Shot on an IMAX camera, ultra detailed, dramatic rim lighting, volumetric dust, epic scale, hyper realistic science fiction film still. So this one is basically just for details. I want to see if it can get the scale and the perspective right. I wanted to play with like some complex lighting, and also I want to do some environmental stuff. So you guys know how I am with the prompts. I'm not the best at prompting, so we're gonna see what it does. And I made it a big prompt on purpose. So let's go ahead and we're going to put it on fast. Like I said, that defaults to NanoBanana 2, and we're going to submit it. Last time this was pretty fast, so I'm counting on it being kind of fast this time as well. We'll see. But NanoBanana 2 has really proven itself over the last couple of days because I've been seeing some pretty cool stuff. All right, let's see what it was. See what it is here. So, all right, we got Earth rising distance. I like the dust kind of coming close to the camera and kind of blurring perspective. Here's the astronaut on the edge. Let's see. It's a cinematic wide shot. It is a shattered moon colony, massive broken domes. That's pretty cool, yeah. Uh, Earth rising in the distance. Kind of wish it would have did a little something different with these neon lights here, but I didn't really tell it what to do. I gave it a lot of like leeway and things like that. So I'm sure it doesn't know what to do with these. So let's see. Uh, Cracked glass structures and a storm of glowing debris shifts through low gravity. I'm not sure if all that's happening, but we'll see. IMAX camera, ultra detailed, dramatic rim lighting. Okay, I see that. That's, I think it did pretty good with that. Like it has like some lighting on the glass. Glass is different than the metal. You can kind of see it here a little better in this first one here. I think it did an okay job. I'm not gonna say that it's doing the best. Like we have like some lighting here and then some glasses missing. There's no really bounce light on this side. No real bounce light over here. So I mean it's doing what it do. I like the rising earth in the distance, stuff like that. I think that it's okay. It's okay. It definitely needs to be cleaned up a little bit. So I'm gonna give this like I don't know, like a 3 out of 5 on this one. Just because I think that it really did. I mean it really did what I asked it to. It didn't do much more. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So the next one here, I'm going to read. So I have a powerful fantasy heroine standing in a burning medieval library, ancient books and glowing spell pages swirling around her in the air. Her armor is engraved with celestial runes and reflects the firelight. A massive dragon silhouette is visible through a shadowed cathedral window behind her. Cinematic lighting, epic fantasy novel cover, ultra detailed textures, magical particles, dramatic composition. Now, what I wanted to see with this one is if it could do novel covers in the right format without me having to prompt that I want this in whatever novel covered 5 by 8, 6 by 9, with the spine and everything like that. So I want to see if it could do that, but also this text, like character detail. I want to look at all the particles flying around, all the pages swirling, and see how it does with that. And that's basically what this one is. So I want to see how far I can push it with this novel cover. It's pretty fast. It's staying fast, even though these prompts are what I consider to be huge prompts. As you know, they get much bigger. They get much bigger than this, but I consider this to be kind of an overwhelming prompt. So I'm hoping that it could do this. Let's check it out. All right, so it has it right in the middle. So it's not novel format, which is fine. It's kind of it's kind of losing a little detail down here. There's some fire. I don't. All right, let's see. Engraved celestial runes. I don't think it really tried at all with these celestial runes. These are just like little, like, squiggles and marks on her armor. Let's see. A massive dragon is visible through a shattered cathedral window. Okay, it just kind of looks like the dragon is sitting inside. It looks like the dragon is a part of the window and not that it's behind it. In fact, I think it's in front of it because this kind of the detailing kind of disappears behind the dragon. So that's not great. Okay, so pages are swirling around it. I like the little magical like swirls that it did. I like that effect. Which I mean, but does that make up for like the rest of it? Like I like the lighting. There's a lot of like firelight, which is what we asked for. I like the lighting here, but there's just a lot more fire than I thought there would be. There's this is burning. This is burning up here. I like the details of the smoke from the fire. Um, feel like it has some rim lighting on her armor and things like that. I just feel like it's not affecting her. Maybe they're using this magical swirl to kind of light her instead of the fire, but I just don't feel like she's got a lot of firelight on her. And then this is just all wrong. They try to do a title up here and so as you can see, it needs a lot of help with the book cover aspect of it. It needs for you to say this is the spine, this is the front cover, this is the back cover, and things like that. Um, but I have noticed that if you put a book cover, like you know how on KDP they give you like you can make like a book cover for your book, and they give you like a download of like the templates where you can like add your own book cover on top and make it the right size. If you give it that template, it'll put this picture over that template and like match the width and the stuff like that. So it's it's pretty good on its own. I mean, this is I mean, I wouldn't use it. It's not really a solid image, but I would say that this is not a book cover, but I like the image overall as a whole. I feel like her face is kind of doing something weird, but that's perfectly fine. I'm not buying the firelight that's not in this area. I mean, I'm not sure why not. And then there's lightning, like crackling. Is that lighting her? I'm not sure. So I'm gonna call that one a 1 out of 5. I don't think that it did that well at all. So let's move on to our next prompt. And this one is probably one you've seen from me like before. I'm very predictable with these prompts, but I really like certain things. And if it can do these certain things right, then I feel like that is what makes a good model. So this one is a rain-soaked neon city alley at night. A wary detective in a trench coat smoking under a flickering streetlight. Steam rises from sewer grate. Puddles reflect neon signs in Japanese and English. A shadowy figure watches from a fire escape above, shot like a 1970s neo-noir film, cinematic lighting, film grain, shallow depth of field, dramatic atmosphere. Okay, so this is definitely one you've seen from me before. I love my steaming sewer grates in the city in the rain. You know, I love my flickering street lights. I love my neon signs. I wanted to try to get them in Japanese and English and see if it can do that. Or is it just going to give us like ramen and games like it did last time, which was crazy. I wanted to see if it could do a shadowy figure from up above and keep the lighting consistent. And then I also wanted to see if it could get that like film grain down, because sometimes it can get really muddy with film grain, especially in some of like the lesser models and stuff like that. I wanted to know what NanoBanana would do with it. So this one is for lighting realism, reflections and wet surfaces, and film aesthetic. And of course, all these prompts will be in the description below. If you guys want to test them on your own, if you want to change them, if you like them and want to use them for something, they're 100% free. They'll be in the description as soon as the stream ends, so you can play with them in whatever model you choose. All right, so we're on fast again, which is NanoBanana 2, and we're going to go ahead and submit, which is pretty darn fast, I might add. Like this is the fastest like model I've I've come across. That's that's not NanoBanana 1, of course, but I'm gonna have to give them their props on this because this is pretty legit. All right, let's see. All right, so there's a car. So it's coming down the alley. That's kind of crazy. Uh, did we say night? Yeah, we did say night. So this is kind of bright for night, unless it's just turned or whatever. This light is really bright for what time of day it ever is. I don't know. Japanese signs, okay. English and Japanese. Club Omega. Um, I'm not sure if this is Japanese. Uh, I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is gibberish. This is also gibberish. So yeah, it kind of followed it to a point, and then it just did whatever it wanted to do. Um, this is this rain soaked? I would say so. Sure, I would buy that. It had rained really heavily, and it's currently raining. Um, Kind of heavily here. Cobblestone in the back alley is fine. I like the boxes and the trash cans. This crate is really cool right here in particular. I don't see very many crates like that. Let's look at these pouring like pipes on the side of this detective, because I don't think he would have stopped here to smoke if he saw like this water just absolutely just gushing out of these pipes from who knows where, like I guess the ceiling, right? But they look like almost like sewage pipes, which is crazy. I like this trash can in the foreground. Let's look at this smoke. This smoke, I think it's pretty cool. Film grain, kind of. I mean, it's way too bright. I think that it really like took advantage of the fact that I didn't say what time of night it was, which is fine. It would have helped these neon signs. It would have helped whatever this light is doing. Why is this light so bright? Like, what is that? Like one of those Edison bulbs or something like that? And then like this creepy guy on the fire escape, I like him. I'm not I'm not gonna say much about him. I like him. I think that that followed the prompt pretty well. Let's go ahead and look at what the prompt was here. A shadowy figure watches from the fire escape. Okay, I like that. 1970s. The car is definitely given 1970s. This detective better get out of the way before he's gonna get slammed right into. Um, as far as other stuff given 1970s, like I buy it, but like to a certain extent. Like I don't know if like the trash cans, I'd buy that. Um, but I don't know how far it pushed that 1970s aesthetic. Let's look at shallow depth of field. Yes. Dramatic lighting. I think it could have pushed it a little further if it was darker, like I said. Uh, Under a flickering street light. I'm not sure. Is this a street light where you guys are from? Because this is like a wall lamp to me. I'm thinking like a street light, like like the kind that comes up from the ground and goes over and like that. But this is like a sconce over a doorway. And this is like a little window or whatever. So that I guess that could be kind of plausible, but it's bright as heck. Like, would it be that bright? I don't know. Overall, I would say that this is like probably another 3 out of 5 for me. Like I like the details, I like the aesthetic. I'm buying his face here. The cigarette is kind of getting lost. It's kind of invisible in there, but I can see the smoke. Like I'm not sure if it's coming out of this side of his hand or this side of his hand. I'm kind of buying the smoke. I think the smoke looks really good. I think the steam looks a lot more plausible than I have seen it. I'm not sure what's going on with these gushing pipes here and why he's just like willing to be soaked standing next to him. But that's neither here nor there. I think a solid 3 out of 5 for the prompt that it had, and I think that's pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead. I am going to remove my screen there and add myself back to the screen because I do want to talk about a little bit about our academy and what we're doing here. We do have some new courses and some new things that are coming up. So I want you guys to be aware if you want to learn these things, these prompts. You want to learn how to do consistent characters. You want to learn how to uh, screenwrite at any point. You want to learn how to use AI in your filmmaking. We have courses for all of that. So, like I said, Ben is in Ireland right now. He's speaking on film and AI, but we have a course that has just been released. It's on demand. It's called AI Film Consistent Characters for Beginners and Intermediates. If you've never seen any like AI consistent characters, any lores or anything like that, it's on demand right now for only $2.79. It's on sale from $3.99, which is amazing. It's it's like 4 hours worth of information. So, and then we have a pre-sale on my course that's coming up. If you ever want to learn how to use Descript, which is a text-based editor, we use AI to edit our videos. It's right now it's $429. It's a 3-week course, and it's down for $5.99. So let's go ahead and jump back into the prompting. The link for all that will be in the description, so we can see what this can do. Let's see what this can do. All right, so our fourth prompt is kind of like if you ever seen like D&D or like The Hobbit or things like that. I kind of wanted to see what it could do with these massive amounts of characters. So this one's a massive battlefield between two armies on a misty mountain plateau at sunrise. Thousands of armored soldiers, giant war banners whipping in the wind, dragons circling overhead, glowing magic colliding in the sky. A lone warrior stands in the foreground holding a flaming sword. Ultra wide cinematic composition, epic fantasy film still, ultra detailed environment. So yeah, I was thinking like the battle of the five armies and stuff like coming in here like floods of people, and I want to see if it can handle that many characters at once. So what this test is crowd complexity, depth and layering. I want to see if everything is on the same layer, or can we like see it off into the distance and stuff like that. And then large scale environments. I want to see the mountains. I want to see the sky. I want to see, the dragon in the distance. I want to see what it does with that. I'm hoping it's not a dragon like this, but if it is, then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right, NanoBanana 2, come on, don't let us down. I play a lot of fantasy games. I'm not a really big fantasy reader. I don't know if you guys are, wherever you are, if you read a lot of fantasy, but this is what, like, the staple of what I imagine when people say, like, Lord of the Rings and what was the one that was on Game of Thrones and things like that. So let's see. All right. We have sort of our army lumps here. They're not really like fighting each other. They're on horses. Those horses are kind of running the same direction. The other side appears to all be on horses. Banners, hero in the foreground with flaming sword, magic in the sky. Way more dragons than I thought there were gonna be. But it's fine. I did just say dragons. Let's see. Whipping wind, misty mountain plateau. Let's see what else. So yeah, I'm kind of buying these mountains right now. Like, I know this is like it's supposed to be a plateau, so I'm not sure why this is all. It's giving valley a little bit since it's down here in between all of these mountains. But I'm kind of buying this kind of distance I'm seeing. I like the sun right here that's kind of clipping over this mountain, right? I like that. I like the sky in the background. I think that kind of nailed it. The mist is kind of looking more like smoke. It's kind of obscuring a lot, which I'm not a huge fan of. Like, I didn't think that it would be like that prevalent, but that's just nitpicky. The flags, the banner, they're okay. I feel like there's a lot of different ones. This one's on fire. I feel like there's a lot of different ones, so I'm not really sure what's going on here. These guys are facing this way when everything seems to be happening this way. Not sure what that's about. These are all facing this way. So maybe they're waiting. He does have like his spear down. What? I don't even know if that's his spear. No, that's his spear. I don't know what this guy is doing actually. And he probably doesn't want to be there. So then this main character here, he's on this like little cliff and he has like a flaming sword. Um I'm not sure if the sword is flaming or the sword is just on fire. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like there's a difference, right? Am I tripping? There's a difference between a flaming sword and a sword that's on fire. This kind of just looks like it's on fire and not flaming. I like his armor. I think it has some good details to it. His little his little thing, his little boot covers here, his sword sheath on this side. I think this is okay. I guess the bounce light is coming from that, which is more prevalent down here, which makes sense. But then there's this light on the other side of his head, which could be sunlight. So I see the rays coming through the valleys, hitting the hats of all these other soldiers. So I'd buy that. I'd buy that. Uh, what I don't buy is this wind here because why are these flags going this way and these flags going this way? Like what's happening here? Or are they all coming back towards the camera? Like, is that a thing? Not sure. There's like a little camp or kingdom right here, a little stronghold, and these dragons with their fire. Magic just coming out of nowhere. I mean, it looks like there maybe could be like some wizards fighting up here, but it's literally just looks like colorful lightning bouncing off these mountains. I'm not really sure what's happening up there. I was hoping it would be like from the crowd down here, but like I said, I wanted the model to do most of the heavy lifting here. Um, oh, you guys can't even see it. Oh my gosh. Let me put you back up here. Anyway, this is what I'm talking about. uh, I wanted the model to do most of the heavy lifting here, so I didn't really give it much suggestion, but I was hoping that these magic, lightning things were coming from the kind of the crowd of soldiers to show that there was like some mages or something in the armies, or maybe like some dedicated magic users or something. I don't know. I was kind of hoping for something, but I kind of like this image overall. I feel like it could have did a little bit better with the flags, but I really like this environment here in the mountains coming down. It feels more like a valley, like I said. But I think this is our first 4 out of 5. So I really like that one. I don't know what you guys think about it. All right, so let's move on. We only have one more. Let's see. Our last one is this one. Let me grab it and put it in here. A quiet bookstore late at night, warm golden lamps illuminating towering shelves. A young writer sits at a wooden table covered in handwritten manuscript pages, while rain taps softly against the window. Outside, a glowing city skyline blurs through the glass. Intimate cinematic lighting, shallow depth of field, cozy atmosphere, literary film aesthetic. So I wanted to kind of get a couple of things with this. One, I wanted to see the blurring city outside and if they could make that like believable. I wanted to see what they would do with the lighting here. I wanted to see how they would handle like this narrative emotion and the mood and atmosphere and stuff like that. The pages, the manuscripts, of course, the rain. I always have to have rain. You guys don't have to have rain when you use these prompts, but I like a little bit of rain. I think that challenges the model a little bit because it always tries to figure out if it's like raining heavy or like drizzling or puddling or whatever. And I kind of want to see what it comes up with. I kind of want to see what it interprets it as. So that's why I always try to include just a little bit of rain. Uh, Not too much. Ben doesn't Ben doesn't like that. He think I'm leaving too much up to the imagination. But I think it's a good tester. So let's go ahead and get that started. And like I said, all of these will be in the description down below for you guys if you want to try anything, if you want to change them and take them into different models and see how it works, then we could definitely do that. All right, let's see. A quiet bookstore, rain outside the window, city skyline. If you believe it or not, that is actually my city skyline, I think. So that's a little creepy. I don't like that. The bookstore. Actually, this bookstore is kind of awesome. I would like to be in a bookstore like this. This is crazy with the little swirling staircase and all that. Uh, Floor to ceiling books and everything. I don't see a ladder. I guess this could be the ladder, but I don't see a ladder to get up there. That would be like the cherry on top. Let's look at this person because I'm kind of buying this person right now. Like, look at this face right here. Like, this is giving photorealistic a little bit. Like, I really like the hair. That's really believable. The sweater is looking good. Like this face is actually like she's a little dead in her eyes, but this face is actually like the skin pigment is really good. So it really did that really well. This coffee cup looks like she spilled a lot down the side. So uh but this coffee cup looks actually really realistic. I like that. The manuscript pages, in which it just interpreted as, you know, pages she's been writing and stuff like that. And honestly, it's given like this old vibe. It's given like, I don't know what it is, because you have this Apple computer right here. Like, this is obviously Apple. That doesn't look like an Apple, but it's obviously Apple. But then she's handwriting her book, and she has like two different types of pages, which is like this notebook with a pen in it and like just like loose leaf paper that she's like stacking up over here. And so I'm not sure if she's writing a book or if she's writing classes for notes for classes, but I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't be all scattered like that. The candle is, I guess, just for atmosphere because it's kind of unnecessary because we have this cool looking lamp here. I really like this lamp. Like, if I could find this lamp in real life, I would keep it. This reflection is kind of awesome right here. I like that. I feel like it did a really good job with that, with the chain coming down and then the back of it. You can even see the base a little bit right here, which is like a phenomenon that we have in real life where you can like see things that you feel like shouldn't be seen on the other side of glass. This light over here is also reflected, which looks really nice. Like I said, the candle's not doing much, but it is a reflection in the table, which is, I like that. It's really subtle. I like the shadows. I think it did really great with the shadows. I think it's too lit in here. Like these, like, is that a reflection? I'm not sure. I think that's just a lamp on the, like, or either it's really tall or it's on the stairs. And this is just another lamp right next to it. But there's so many lamps in here. I don't feel like it's giving it a chance to be moody. And then here's like a random teacup in the foreground. Um, I like this table. I think the wood grain is really good. And of course, the city outside, I think that this is really nice. Like these blurred lights on top of the buildings. Yeah. And then the rain on the window. I think it kind of did good with that. You can see that it's still raining outside just a little bit. So yeah, I'm not sure if this is an actual coffee shop or bookshop or what it is. Like this is kind of warping right here a little bit, but it kind of goes into nowhere. Like I said, there's not a ladder, but there is like a little tag, like a bookstore tag right here. So I like this detail. I wish this was on more of the shelves, but I guess you can kind of modify this however you want to. But overall, I don't know. Overall, I think there's too many lamps for it to be moody, like I said. I think it did great with the characters. If it caught on with what a manuscript was, I think it would do better. But right now, it just looks like she's taking notes from a class with her Apple laptop. I think that the two cups here are kind of weird, but I love the coffee cup that's next to her. And then the detail on this first coffee cup is actually really cool. The candle is useless, but I love the subtle like reflection down here, which is amazing. So you can definitely see its strong points just from this one image, which is kind of crazy. I love the brickwork, how it's slightly out of focus. And I keep coming back to this character work. This character work is amazing. Like this looks like she was plopped in the middle of an AI like picture. Like this is honestly like kind of creepy looking a little bit because everything else I can kind of tell is AI. Like you get the staircase in the back is kind of warped and stuff like that. Like I was saying, the random candles and lamps and stuff like that. But it looks like she's a real person that just said, "Put me in a bookstore slash coffee shop," and that's what it did. So I'm really impressed by that. Maybe I should try more character things next time, and I could kind of teach you guys a little bit of our consistent characters and see if we can get her consistent across the board and put her in different locations and or make our own character and put them in different locations and see how well it can do with that. I'm really impressed by that. All right. So that was our 5 prompts. I'm feeling pretty good about that. I feel like Nano Banana really showed us what it could do and what its strengths were, what its weaknesses were. I didn't buy the crowds. The rain is starting to look a little better, honestly, from Nano Banana 1 to Nano Banana 2. The atmospheres are starting to look a little better. The characters are crazy. Like, if you don't use it for anything but characters by itself, like, I feel like that is like the strong point of it. Uh, and for some reason, it loves lamps. It loves lighting. So if you can put that, I feel like it's gotten better with the Japanese and the English signs. I kind of bought those signs on our like noir alley scene. There was definitely some spots where it could do better, like the mist on the mountains and the gushing uh, pipes on the walls of the alley and things like that. It could definitely do a little better in those areas, but I feel like just with a little bit more prompt, like details, you can probably get it to where you need it. Book covers need a lot of help. If you're using something like this for book covers, like I said, you can enter your template and tell it what you want, or you can possibly get like a detailed um, thing from like Chat GPT. Say, I want, please, if I'm giving this to an AI model, what should I say to get the exact book cover that I want? And then paste that prompt in there. That's worked a bunch of times, but I'm not sure that Nano Banana is the right place to get a book cover. Um, I'm pretty sure that it could give you like characters, it could give you good fonts. I think the font was fantastic, but as far as like out of the box book covers, I wouldn't do it. Um, I'm not sure how it would do album covers though. I'm kind of interested in album covers now. I want to see how it does with those. I feel like that would be a lot simpler for it to do because it doesn't have to be in any sort of like fixed space. So I like that. I think it did really well with the space images. I love the earth rising in the background, all of the debris in the foreground. I thought it did really well with glass and bounce light. The neon lights were crazy. So we won't even talk about those. But I really like the astronaut. I really like all the dust and particles. So I think we really learned a lot for, how to do prompts and what NanoBanana 2 is capable of. So that was our 5 prompts. We put NanoBanana 2 through the ringer in this one, and I think it actually came out better than average. I'm going to give the whole experience like a 3.5 out of 5. Maybe I'm bad at prompting, which Ben has told you a plethora of times that I am not the best prompter, which is fine. I'll take that. I'm still learning, but like a lot of you, we're all still learning, and I'm glad that you guys can see us kind of fix things and do things and kind of in real time show you guys how to make your prompts and get better images out of your prompts. So yeah, my name is Bree Bolton. This is 1111 Media Creator Academy. We go live every Wednesday at 7. And I want to thank you all for joining me. If you want to see more like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you like this stream, go ahead and hit that like. And I will catch you guys next time. Peace.